What is up, YouTube? I'm happy. And you want to know why I'm happy? Because, obviously, we got new parts. So I wanted to unbox them real quick, and then we'll get to put them on. Not all of them today, but most of them. So, first, I wanted to open up this box. So I watched a video from HP Academy that had so much good information about wiring, and it really helped me kind of come to terms with how I'm going to wire up the race truck, because I don't want to do it half-assed. I don't want to use subpar parts. So I went to ProWire USA and I got heat shrink, I got quality TXL cable. So this is going to make a huge difference, and I'm sure I have to buy a ton more. But just like quality butt connectors, crimps. What else did I get? Oh, I got a nice, see that? Bulkhead piece. So, and then I got this, which is really cool. It's a flex or a heat shrink that has all the labels on everything. So I'm gonna label that. That'll help me label everything and get stuff all squared away. So I got all that. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That's gonna help me make a big stride in getting the race truck done. So, and I think that I'm gonna have to order twice as much as that. But for now, that'll get me going. That'll get that shift or that switch pros all wired up. But let's see what's next. I know you're all seeing it. AFE power. What is this for, you say? Well, let me show you. I have some great friends over at Z1, and I bought this beautiful intake. I'm already running AFE exhaust on the Red Frontier. So the AFE intake is one of the best fit and finish intakes out there that I think, that I've seen. So the Red Frontier is going to get, see, even these hose clamps are the, let me open these. Like the hose clamps are like really good hose clamps. It's got a little tube, breather tube, silicone fitting. Let's see. There's the intake tube, really, really clean. I mean, it won't last, but that's the AFE intake tube. It'll basically sit like that. And breather tube to valve cover, air meter, filter. So let's see what else. And then the air box. This is one heck of an air box. It's probably going to be a little bit of work to get it sealed because I have a snorkel. But that goes to where the snorkel outlet comes in the fender. Normally in the fender this comes out, and I'll show you when I install it, which isn't going to be today, but it will be this video. So I'll snap a finger and we'll get the truck pulled up and we'll get it locked in. So don't you worry. But it's a huge, huge intake box. We're going to have to do a little something down here because that's where it bolts into the bottom, and there's a grommet there, so that's something that we'll have to seal up. And yeah, and you can see your air filter. Let me talk real quick about the air filter, because you can get different options with this, and this is the one that I chose. So this is a Pro Dry air filter, meaning you do not oil this air filter. I went with this because it's better in the dusty California environment. It works better to not have the oil out here, I've found, because it causes it to really clog up. You can't even pull it out and like knock it off very well, even if it gets really bad out. So I went with the Pro Dry. I've heard great things. Less oil also means less fouling of a mass airflow sensor. So there's that. And I'm kind of curious. So this fits right in here like this. And that's the seal for that. So as you can see, that's going to be one heck of a unit coming in. Oh yeah, look at that. That's how she's going to sit. And you can even, you've got this cap that you can pop on and off. Say we're going to be off-road, you only want your snorkel intake area. This is a nice little extra intake area. So this is a really, really beautiful unit. And I'm stoked I'm going to put it on. So there's your unboxing of that. Let's get to install, huh? Welcome to this portion of the show. We have things to do in the red truck. Overland Frontier, the red beast, the dragon. She's finally getting some upgrades. Finally getting some more love going for her. So, first things first, let's pop this open. But that's coming off. Gotta get rid of that. So, what are we gonna put on? AFE power. After that, in the next video, let me show you a little something that we got going after we get that in. Up rev. We got to make the most out of that sucking. We got to suck hard, and then we got to make the most of the hard sucking. So first, I'm gonna clean this up because I don't want to get crazy dusty. So I think I might power wash my engine a little bit. Get all this dust off. This is like 2 trips worth of dust. So let's start with that. All right, clean, ready to go. So this is, I'll do a little bit of a how-to. These are pretty straightforward. So you're gonna wanna take your airbox out, right? There's these clips, and then there's these 2 little horn things down there that go in there. So that frees up this top box. You're gonna pull this off. You're gonna pull this is your mass airflow sensor, or yeah, you're gonna pull that off. Then of course these things right here, and this is connected right here. You can see those. So, but those are, so this piece is like a C-clamp. So sometimes you can pull that out, sometimes not. So if you want, you can pull this off, we'll see. And then obviously this is your breather from it's like a valve cover breather. So that just pumps through here. So we're gonna take all that stuff off, and then we're gonna pull this bottom piece of this airbox out, which is this screw. There's a screw inside here. And then there's a thing that's the breather for your diff back there. And then there's a nut in there, if you can see that. And then one down there. So let's get rocking and I'll pull this thing off. And just like that, we have the intake off. So this is what I was talking about, these 2 little, there's this bolt and this bolt, and these things kind of push in. It's harder to get them in than it is to get them out. To get them out, you can just pull it through. That's that breather. This is the diff breather, that just little plastic clips. We're gonna have to obviously take the mass airflow sensor out. And yeah, that's the majority of it. Let's keep working. So here we got this out. So it was this bolt, and then this one you can just pop off. It's really hard to get into it, but it's a rubber grommet, so you can just pull this thing right off of that one and you'll get this all off. That's my snorkel. So that's gonna be something, I'm not sure how I'm gonna weather seal it with the new box, with the hole in the new box. We'll figure that out. I don't know if I'm gonna have the tools to do that right now, but I'm not planning on going in deep water right now. I will say, when I was doing the pressure washing, I got water in the box, so obviously things weren't sealed. I have a feeling it was this little corner piece. If you don't get those little lugs in here just right, this thing tends to not seal up correctly. So probably a good thing I was doing this. So here we go. Let's get this all off. All right, guys, this is in, and let me just show you. This was, I don't want to say it was tricky, but just to, like, it's really actually great how they mounted it. So this new filter housing has this hole, which I don't know if you can see in the time lapse, but there's grommets in this hole and that hole on the stock airbox. So you pop those grommets out. You're going to put the grommets into the airbox, put the bolts onto their, because it's like a stud really, because these things just pop on and off through the grommet. So you don't have to actually, you basically put these bolts on and then you pop this thing on. And then, let's see if I can get you in here. Inside is that third bolt, and that goes up on that little shelf right there. And you just gotta wiggle this thing around in order to get it back in. And then what is so rad is that hole. Let's see if I can get you on there. The hole where my snorkel comes is an exact, it's like they built it for one another. It's an exact fit. I don't think it's waterproof right now, and I might have to redo this with like just like a rubber boot or something around there. I mean, it's really tight to get in there, but I mean, it is like, you can see it's like right there. It's so tight. There's space right there, but I could probably go in here from inside to seal that up, and that is freaking awesome. So that is, I mean, it's basically watertight. And then if you're not going in water and you want the extra airflow, boom, bada bing, bada boom. But you're gonna be off-roading and stuff, you want nothing but the cleanest air you can get, sucking from the top. That's pretty sweet. I'm pretty stoked about that. And that went in surprisingly easy. It's really, I mean, that thing's not going anywhere. Hopefully I did that in the right order. There's no instructions on this thing, but I got no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna keep going. Everything else is, I mean, it's just nuts. It's just hose clamps and simple. So let's get this in. I'm excited. All right, guys, so I got the mass airflow sensor. Might be called something else. And that's what it is. It's an airflow sensor. But BMW used mass airflow sensor, and because I used to be that, that's what I'm calling it. So this thing only goes in one way, and partially you can tell because air comes into these little heated sensors. I believe these are heated. And it goes through there and it measures the volume of air coming through here. So we're gonna put that in here. Note, these little screws are in a tiny little bag in there, so do not lose these because these are threaded to this. And they are T20 Torx. So again, this only goes on one way, so you shouldn't screw that up, because if you put it on backwards, your engine's gonna suck. Well, it's gonna not suck correctly. It's not gonna check the suck. It's not gonna read the suck ratios correctly if you put it on backwards. And we all know how terribly frustrating incorrect suck ratios are. So boom, that's that. This isn't tight. So we're gonna tighten this on here. There's a boot for that, and there's a boot for this, and then we got a new tube. We're cooking with fire! All right, this was a little bit of a bear. This one's real tight, just because I think this is a larger diameter than that. This is a slightly larger piece. So it was just a little bit of a bear getting these onto that as well as this onto this. So other than that, everything bolted up. I mean, this thing is like solid. I mean, it's great. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'm gonna start it up and then see if everything's good to go. And maybe we'll take her for a drive, see what she feels like. This is one of the other reasons why I got this. It's got the carb sticker. Also, I said earlier that it does not have instructions. It's got detailed, wonderful instructions. But who needs instructions when you're badass, right? Kind of a big deal. So this makes a big deal, so I don't have to pull this off and put the stock intake on every time I get it smogged, which I would never do that, of course, if I had something illegal on this vehicle. So that's a big deal. This is California legal. California. Ugh. But yeah, so I'm gonna slap that sticker on. You can really tell watching the idle that it's seeing a little bit more air, and it's calculating for it. It's changing things up just barely. You can see it took a little bit longer for it to come down and find idle, I believe. But let's go drive it. All right, let's go for a drive. I just goosed the throttle a second ago, and it sounded like it picked up a little quicker. Now, again, AFE claims a 10 horsepower gain on this intake. Mind you, I also have an AFE 3-inch catback, so that can also help things a little bit. So the combination of the two, maybe more, maybe less. But let's get out here to the road. A little deeper throatier when you get on that pedal. Definitely notice that. Nothing too crazier. I think the real change is gonna be when I put the tune on it. To take, that way we can take advantage of that extra air and put a little fuel with it, so it's not getting a little lean, or it's not fighting, the computer's not fighting to catch up. It'll just have a good base tune in it to take advantage of that air and fuel. Well, it'll put a base tune in it, which is just like a Nissan base tune, and then what I'll do is I'll do some. All right, hold on. We're gonna stomp on it right here. We're in Mexico. Oh, I felt a little bit more up in the higher RPM. I think I did. I felt it a little bit more. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I don't stomp on it enough. But you feel it. You hear it a little bit more under the hood. And I'm going to take that little piece off and see if that helps at all, because right now it's piped into primarily my snorkel, so maybe it's just a little more growl under the hood or something. So let me do that real quick. All right, so I got this little piece out. Let's see if we hear anything different. This is going up a hill, so it's definitely, if we're gonna feel anything, going up the hill might be where it's at. Might give it a little bit more of that torque feel. Oh yeah, you can definitely hear that difference. You might be able to feel a little bit. And in truth, it might take a little while for the ECU to catch up on getting this thing, making up for that air. I'm not sure how quick that does that, if it's like immediately on the fly, or if it learns a little bit and just starts understanding. You definitely hear a little whistle, a little growl. But I am impressed with the quality, the fit and finish of that thing. It's really nice. I'm pretty impressed. So next thing I'm going to do in the next video is get the uprev base tune in, and then I'm going to do some data logging, and we'll get this thing tuned up to where it's making the most out of the extra airflow now that we have into the in and out of the engine. So that'll be pretty sweet. I'm really looking forward to that, and I appreciate you guys following along. Huge thanks and shout out to Z1 Performance for getting me, Z1 Off-Road for getting me this intake so quickly, and working with me. It's not like they gave it to me for free or anything, so I had to pay for it. But I was talking to them about their dynoing on these intakes, and fit and finish, all the different ones that they got, and I was on the same page as them with the AFE. I had seen it before, but I'd never seen it installed. So I'm pretty stoked on the install and how well it's put together. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you when we put on that that little up rev cable and get some scrank out of this thing. All right, guys, peace.